Speak Lab English, the place to speak English naturally. Have you ever tried to speak English and suddenly your brain freezes?
Oh, yes. My brain doesn't just freeze, it completely shuts down.
Like a computer that suddenly stops working?
Exactly. Error 404, English not found.
That sounds serious.
Very serious.
What usually causes that problem?
My brain starts doing too many things.
Like what?
First, I think in my language.
Okay,
Then, I translate the sentence into English.
that's step 2.
Then, I check the grammar.
Step 3.
Then, I panic.
Step 4.
And finally, I speak, very slowly.
Meanwhile, the other person is just waiting.
Yes, staring at me like I forgot how to speak.
That happens to many English learners.
So today we're talking about something very important
Something that can make your English much faster.
and much more natural,
We're talking about how to stop translating in your head.
and how to start thinking in English.
Because translating is one of the biggest reasons people feel slow when speaking English.
It's like trying to run while carrying a heavy backpack.
Exactly.
You can still run.
But it's much harder.
Before we go deeper into today's topic, we want to ask you something.
Yes, a quick little request.
If you enjoy learning English through conversations like this,
Please take a second to like this video.
and subscribe to Speak Lab English.
We create these episodes to help you practice real English listening.
And if you share this episode with a friend who is learning English,
You might help them improve too.
all right, Emma, let's start with a question.
Go ahead.
Why do so many people translate in their heads?
Because it feels safe.
Safe?
Yes, your brain trusts your native language.
So it uses your native language like a bridge.
Exactly. The brain thinks, let me translate first, just to be sure.
But that bridge makes the conversation slower.
Much slower. Let's imagine a situation.
Okay,
Someone asks you a simple question.
like what?
What did you eat today?
That's a normal question.
But many learners do this.
Step 1, think of the answer in their language.
Step 2, translate it into English.
Step 3, check grammar.
Step 4, finally speak.
By that time, the other person might ask another question.
Exactly.
And now you have 2 questions waiting.
Your brain becomes even more confused.
That's when panic starts.
Yes,
And panic is the enemy of fluency.
very true.
I remember something funny from when I was learning English.
What happened?
Someone asked me, "What do you do?"
That's a common question.
But my brain translated it literally.
Oh no.
I thought they were asking what I was doing at that exact moment.
That must have been confusing.
The person looked at me and said, "Yes, I can see that."
That's actually hilarious.
I learned something important that day.
What did you learn?
Translating word for word can create very strange conversations.
That's true.
Language is not just translation.
It's about ideas.
Exactly.
Fluent speakers don't translate.
They connect ideas directly with English.
So instead of thinking in another language first,
Their brain thinks directly in English,
which makes responses faster.
and conversations smoother.
Let's compare 2 situations.
Okay,
Situation 1, translating.
the brain goes idea, native language, English.
That's 2 steps.
Situation 2, thinking in English.
Idea, English.
Only 1 step.
That's why fluent speakers respond quickly.
Their brain skips the translation step.
Exactly.
But many learners believe something.
What is it?
They believe they must translate to speak correctly.
That belief actually slows them down,
It's like using a calculator for every simple math problem.
even for something like 2 plus 2.
Exactly.
Eventually, your brain should know the answer instantly.
Language works the same way.
The brain needs practice to respond automatically.
Let's try something fun.
I like fun.
Look around the room you're in.
Okay.
Now, describe 3 things you see in English.
I see a table.
Good.
I see a chair.
Nice.
I see a window.
Perfect.
That exercise felt easy,
Because the sentences are simple.
and your brain didn't translate much.
Exactly.
This is actually a powerful method.
What method?
Thinking in small English sentences throughout the day.
Like talking to yourself?
Yes,
I already talk to myself sometimes.
many people do.
Sometimes I ask myself questions.
Like what?
Where did I leave my phone?
That's a very common question.
My phone disappears 10 times a day.
Mine too.
Maybe phones secretly walk away.
That would explain a lot.
But asking yourself questions in English is actually great practice.
Yes.
For example, what am I doing right now?
And the answer could be, I am listening to an English podcast.
Exactly. This creates a small conversation in your brain.
And that trains your brain to think in English.
The more you do this,
The easier it becomes.
just like exercising,
At first, it feels difficult.
then your brain becomes stronger.
And thinking in English becomes natural.
You know something interesting?
What?
Children don't translate when they learn languages.
That's true.
They connect words directly with ideas.
For example, when a child sees a dog,
They learn the word dog.
they don't translate it into another language.
Their brain connects the image and the word.
That's why children learn languages so quickly.
Maybe adults should learn a little like children.
In some ways, yes.
Less fear
More curiosity.
and more practice.
Exactly. Let's do a quick shadowing exercise.
Good idea. Repeat after us.
I can think in English.
I can think in English.
Again.
I can think in English.
One more time.
I can think in English.
Great.
Here's another one.
My brain is learning English every day.
My brain is learning English every day.
Excellent.
That sentence feels motivating.
Words influence our mindset.
And mindset influences learning speed.
Exactly.
The biggest message today is simple.
Stop depending on translation.
Start building direct English thoughts.
Even small thoughts can help.
For example, I'm drinking coffee.
The weather is nice.
I'm feeling hungry.
I'm always feeling hungry.
That seems to be your personality.
Food is very motivating.
Maybe we should make an episode about learning English with food,
That would be my favorite episode.
and probably the most delicious one.
So, Leo, we talked about why translating in your head slows you down.
Yes, and I realized something.
What did you realize?
My brain is basically doing extra homework during conversations.
That's a good way to describe it.
Imagine talking to someone while solving math problems.
That sounds exhausting.
Exactly. That's how translating feels.
Your brain is working too hard.
And when the brain works too hard,
Speaking becomes slow.
and sometimes confusing,
So the big question is,
how can we stop translating?
the answer is practice.
I had a feeling you would say that.
But the type of practice is important.
So, what's the first method?
Narrate your daily life in English.
Narrate.
Yes, describe what you're doing.
Out loud?
Or in your mind.
That sounds interesting.
For example, imagine you're making breakfast.
That's my favorite time of the day.
Of course it is.
Food again.
While making breakfast, you could think,
I'm making coffee.
exactly,
I'm cutting bread.
perfect.
I'm wondering why my coffee machine is so slow.
That's a very real thought.
Coffee machines always take forever when you're sleepy.
Maybe they enjoy watching us suffer.
That would be very cruel.
But the point is simple.
You're creating English thoughts during normal activities,
Yes,
and the brain slowly becomes comfortable with English.
exactly.
What's another technique?
Ask yourself questions in English.
Like an interview?
Yes, like a mini interview with yourself.
That sounds funny.
But it works surprisingly well.
Give me an example.
Ask yourself, what am I doing right now?
And answer, I'm listening to an English podcast.
Perfect.
Or maybe I'm drinking coffee.
Coffee again.
Coffee is very important.
Clearly. What's another question?
What will I do today?
That's a good one.
And you answer in English.
Today I will study English.
Excellent answer.
Very responsible.
Your brain starts building English conversation patterns.
Even though you're talking to yourself.
Exactly.
I think many learners worry about making mistakes.
That's a big problem.
They want perfect sentences.
But perfection is not necessary.
Communication is the goal.
Yes.
If your sentence is simple but clear, that's already great progress.
Let me share something funny.
I'm ready.
When I started thinking in English,
Yes.
my brain created very strange sentences.
Like what?
Once I thought, I am hunger. I forgot the word hungry.
That's actually cute.
My brain was trying its best.
And that's the important part.
Exactly.
Mistakes are part of learning.
Fluent speakers made thousands of mistakes.
Probably millions.
That's comforting,
It should be.
because many learners stop practicing when they make mistakes,
But mistakes mean your brain is learning.
like a baby learning to walk.
Babies fall many times.
But they don't quit.
Exactly.
Imagine a baby saying, walking is too hard, I give up.
That would be very strange.
But adults do that with languages.
That's true.
They feel embarrassed.
But learning a language requires courage.
And patience.
Lots of patience.
Let's try another small exercise.
Good idea.
Listeners can repeat after us.
First sentence.
I am thinking in English.
I am thinking in English.
Again,
I am thinking in English.
one more time.
I am thinking in English.
Great.
Next sentence.
I don't need to translate every thought.
I don't need to translate every thought.
Again,
I don't need to translate every thought.
excellent.
These small sentences train the brain.
Repetition builds confidence.
And confidence helps fluency.
There's another interesting trick.
What is it?
Describe pictures in English.
That's a great exercise.
You can look at a photo.
And describe everything you see.
For example, there is a man walking.
There is a dog.
The sky is blue.
Simple sentences.
But powerful practice.
Because your brain connects images with English.
Without translation.
Exactly.
After some time, something amazing happens.
What happens?
English words appear in your mind automatically,
That's the goal.
and conversations become much smoother
Speaking starts to feel natural.
instead of stressful.
And that's when learners realize something.
What do they realize?
English is not just a subject to study.
It's a tool for communication,
Exactly.
and tools become easier the more we use them,
Just like riding a bicycle.
or cooking.
Or learning how to use chopsticks.
I still struggle with chopsticks.
Really?
My noodles always escape.
The noodles are winning the battle.
Yes, noodles 1, Leo 0.
Maybe you need more practice.
Probably.
Language learning works the same way.
Practice, practice, practice.
And slowly your brain adapts.
The translation habit becomes weaker.
And English thinking becomes stronger.
But there is one big mistake many learners make,
Yes, a very common mistake.
and this mistake keeps people stuck for years.
It's something many learners don't even realize.
But once you understand it,
Your English can improve much faster.
Leo, earlier you mentioned a big mistake that many English learners make.
Yes, and it's a mistake that keeps people stuck for a long time.
What is it?
Waiting until their English is perfect before they try to think in English.
That's very true.
Many learners think, I will start thinking in English when my vocabulary is bigger.
Or when their grammar is perfect.
But that moment never really comes.
Exactly.
Language learning doesn't work like that.
You improve by using the language.
Not by waiting.
Thinking in English is a skill.
And every skill improves with practice.
Even if your sentences are simple.
Simple sentences are actually great.
For example, instead of trying to say a complicated sentence,
Just say something easy.
like, I'm tired.
Or I'm hungry.
You're always hungry.
That's a very accurate observation. But the idea is clear.
Don't make English harder than it needs to be.
Start with small thoughts.
Then slowly build longer ones.
Over time, your brain becomes faster.
And thinking in English becomes natural.
There's another interesting thing that happens.
What's that?
At some point, you will notice something surprising.
Your brain starts reacting in English automatically.
Exactly.
For example, if someone drops something,
Your brain might instantly think, oh no.
or if you see something funny,
You might think, that's hilarious.
and you didn't translate those thoughts.
They appeared directly in English.
That's a great sign of progress.
It means your brain is adapting,
Many learners think fluency happens suddenly,
like a magical moment.
but actually it's a slow process.
Small improvements every day.
One new word,
One new sentence.
one new thought in English.
And those small steps add up.
Eventually, you realize something amazing.
English feels easier than before,
Conversations feel more relaxed.
and your confidence grows.
Confidence is very important.
Because confidence makes you speak more.
And speaking more improves your English.
It becomes a positive cycle. Let's give listeners one more exercise.
Good idea.
A quick thinking exercise.
Listeners can repeat after us.
Ready?
First sentence.
I can speak English without translating.
I can speak English without translating.
Again.
I can speak English without translating.
One more time.
I can speak English without translating.
Excellent.
Next sentence.
My English gets better every day.
My English gets better every day.
Again.
My English gets better every day.
Perfect.
These sentences may seem simple.
But they help train your mind.
Your brain starts believing what you repeat.
And belief creates motivation.
Motivation keeps you practicing.
And practice builds fluency.
So remember this.
Stop depending on translation.
Start creating small English thoughts.
Talk to yourself in English.
Ask yourself questions.
Describe things around you.
And don't worry about mistakes.
Mistakes are proof that you're learning.
Every fluent English speaker made mistakes.
Probably thousands of them.
Maybe millions.
That actually makes me feel better.
Me too.
Learning a language is a journey.
And every step forward matters.
Even small steps.
Especially small steps.
Because small steps lead to big progress.
And the most important step?
Is starting.
Exactly.
If you enjoyed practicing English with this conversation,
Please take a moment to support the channel.
like this video if it helped you.
Subscribe to Speak Lab English for more English listening practice.
And share this episode with someone who is learning English.
It might help them improve too.
Thanks for listening and learning with us.
Keep practicing your English.
And keep building your confidence.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to keep practicing with Speak Lab English. Remember, the more you practice, the more confident you'll speak. See you in the next lesson.